So, I've never done a live broadcast today, but I just feel like this need to just speak for a little while, share a little bit about what's going on. This has been a really hard season. It's the Medicare annual enrollment. That's one of my specialties. I'm headed into the annual enrollment for health insurance too. It overlaps. And here in Connecticut, we've had a lot of upheaval. We've got a big carrier on the Medicare side who's just canceling several of its plans so they can restructure. And we got, just thousands upon thousands of people literally flooding the market now looking to replace that. And I know my connection may be slow, and in response, we have a lot of other carriers that have had to kind of batten down the hatches, and they are choosing to discourage enrollment by refusing to pay us as brokers for new business. And the few plans that are remaining, may not be a good fit, right? So kind of left and right, we've just been battered over and over again by the latest revelation, the latest, oh, this one's not going to pay, oh, that one's not going to pay. And I've been doing this since 2013, and this is, in a way, it's a market correction, right? It happens in insurance. You can't have too much of the market share and still be healthy. All right, I get that. I've been in insurance even longer than I've done the health and Medicare. But what I really just can't stand is this feeling of, this pressure of, oh gosh, well, I really need to show them this plan because at least, that'll make sure I get paid. And instead, what I've decided to do is just help people the way I've always helped people, and guide them through, whether they're new to Medicare, they're transitioning, or they're just looking for a new, experience, right? I'm encouraging people to stay put where they can, partly because the market just isn't that stable for new business. Not just because of not paying, but because anybody who gets too much market share is actually going to be overwhelmed, and that's not good for my existing clients. But I do continue to get renewals, right? This is part of how I, as an agent, get paid. And many of my clients, I already found them good plans before, and so they're happy to stay there, and I'm glad about that. But they're still referring business, and I'm still helping. But it gets tough because sometimes I'm like yesterday. I was at somebody's bedside in a rehab hospital because she had an accident and she fell and managed to break her leg and her arm, and we needed to change up her insurance for November, which is just a few days away. I have people with cancer who are treating, I help people day in and day out, and I'm tired, and I'm sad, and I'm frustrated with the industry I'm in because for some reason, a lot of, insurance companies, but also Medicare, tends to think of brokers as like these, we're just these money-hungry people. And what we're really doing is we're out here and we're working 6-7 days a week trying to make sure that in the limited amount of time that people have to make a good choice for next year, that they understand what their options are, that they're finding what to do. So today was just a culmination of a lot of stress. And, but I found myself in the back roads of Connecticut in one of the most beautiful seasons, right? The very end of the leaf peeping, when the oaks are turning bright red and you're still seeing leaves, and you're driving through. And I stopped at a farm stand because they had fresh apples, and I thought, oh, and it was really funny because they had this little basket of little crocheted lumps, and I looked at that and I'm like, what is that? And I looked, and there it was labeled emotional support potatoes. And these are little crocheted potatoes, each with their own saying. So I picked up this little emotional support potato, and and I thought, you know what, this is gonna, for whatever reason, this is gonna refocus me today. And as I finished up and I went to my client's house, they're coming into Medicare. They didn't know what to expect. We're just prepping, and I'm guiding them through, and I leave, and I start thinking about the other people I've seen this week. You know, the one woman who says I'm one of her cancer angels. And because I came along right at the end of annual enrollment last year and realized that she was eligible for the Medicare savings program. So she's gone through this tremendous cancer treatment this year. And because she was lower income, she didn't have to pay because I helped her get on that plan. I helped her get enrolled. And the woman who I visited yesterday, who's been my client since 2016, and said as soon as the nursing home started talking about insurance and wanting her to make a change, she knew she could call me. She knew I would be there and that I would guide her through it. And all the way to, you know, I have people who've referred me to their siblings, their cousins, their parents, sometimes their children, right? And every single person that I work with, and all of these people who are telling me that what I do is valuable and worth it, and that's why I'm still doing the right thing. It's the right thing for me. You know, if a plan is right for you and I happen to get paid, I want to get paid. That's nice. That's how I make, you know, that's how I pay my mortgage and my car payment and stuff. But for those people who are being referred to me and who just need my help, it's going to be enough, at least for a couple more months, for maybe this year. I'm going to let my other clients kind of help fund the people that I might not get paid for. And I can do this. And I'm not giving up. And I will still be there the way I've promised my clients that I will be there. And that's how I'm going to get through it. So, for any of you in this industry feeling awful, yeah, it's awful. But you can do it. And even if you don't have your own emotional support potato, we can get through this. And we make a difference. Thanks.